Hello, my scent siblings. How are you? I'm doing great. Today's day 3 of my series of how I use my Oil Perfumery perfume oils. I'm Yulia Graham. This is scentssiblings.ca. And the .ca stands for Canada, which is where Oil Perfumery is out of. And the Scent Siblings is the name of my channel because all of this started because I wanted to find people who like the same things that I like and who maybe dislike the same things I dislike, so that when we talk about a certain scent, I can purchase something a little bit more confidently as a blind buy because we've talked about it. So if you're interested in the third installment of my what I do with my perfume oils from Oil Perfumery and what I think of them, let's do this. Today is the final day of this three-part series. I'm just going to go with it. Today I want to talk to you about what I think of Oil Perfumery's oils and the similarities and differences between an Oil Perfumery oil and the scent upon which it has been based. And so I will talk about how I feel about Baccarat Rouge 540. And light blue. So today I brought with me, I have the Baccarat Rouge 540 and I have the Dolce & Gabbana light blue Eau Intense. And the whole Oil Perfumery thing started because this is one of my favorite scents. Well, actually, and this will come full circle. One of my favorite scents is the original Dolce & Gabbana light blue, but it had very, very low lasting power, which we talked about before. And I was watching Yana, I linked her channel below yesterday and today, and she said that one of the ways that she uses her Oil Perfumery oils is she will put this on underneath and then she'll spray the original scent that has not such a great performance, and that the two of them together will create something that will last for you. So that's how that went down. That's why I bought it originally. And then I realized that I could use these Oil Perfumery's oils as quote-unquote samples to see if I wanted to spend my money on the full bottle of the original. So that's how this all came about. I ordered everything else on top of the light blue because I had wanted to use the light blue to augment the performance of the light blue. Does that make sense? No, probably not. So I want to talk to you about my first impression of the Oil Perfumery because it was different. And if you're interested, I'm not here to teach you anything you don't know. I'm sure you already know all of this. Again, I'm doing these videos to practice. So I want to talk about how I felt and what I didn't understand at the time and what I do understand now about the Oil Perfumery oils. A little bit, I mean, you can go onto anybody or their dog's website, YouTube channel, anybody will give you a really good idea of what Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francisque John is like. They will tell you the notes are such and such and such and such. I'll put them up for you even. Why not? They'll tell you that it has, on some people, a medicinal scent to it. Some people will tell you it smells like burnt sugar. Some people will tell you that it disappears as you wear it and you can't smell it, but the whole world can. They'll tell you all of those things. I don't need to tell you all of those things. To me, if I had a signature scent, which I don't because I'm going to cut that out. This would be it. A signature scent is a vocabulary term. To me, my understanding of a signature scent is that it is a scent that when people smell that, they associate it with a person. What's interesting is in my town where I live, very, very few people wear scent that I'm aware of. And Nat is one of them. Hi, Nat. And there are 3 women I know in my town who wear perfume, and all 3 of them wear a signature scent, and all three of them wear the same signature scent. And I don't think I know they aren't quote unquote friends. One of them is a business owner, and I have seen the second of the two at that business at the same time. So when you walk into sometimes one of our local watering holes, on the other side it's a beautiful fine dining restaurant. When you walk in, chances are you're going to smell Clinique Elixir. Also, when you walk into this woman's classroom, chances are you're going to smell Clinique Elixir. So one is a business owner, one is a teacher, and the third one is the wife of a minister, and she is a wonderfully blessed musician. And when you walk into their parish or their church, you're going to smell Clinique Elixir. Now, what's interesting about that is that they don't know each other. Okay, so that scent is going to come up again in a story that I tell. So a signature scent can be worn all year, at any time, for any occasion. And to me, that's what Baccarat Rouge 540 could be, except I don't have a signature scent because I am every woman. And I don't even have a signature note, although if I did, it would probably be something like mint. I do love me some mint, but I haven't really found one that I enjoy in perfumery, which is interesting. So Baccarat Rouge is known as, I think, a lot of people's signature scent. So I wanted to get a hold of it. So again, I ordered the light blue first, but we'll talk about that later. I read all the reviews on the Oil Perfumery site, and there are legion of them. There are many, many reviews on the Baccarat Rouge 540 Oil Perfumery insofar as, is it a good dupe? And people say that it's bang on, and I'll give it 99%. But they're different. And here's how they're the same, and here's how they're different. The notes in here and the notes in here are not the same. The ingredients are not the same. Now, a perfume company can put anything they want to say, these are the notes in here. And in fact, it's probably in their best interest to not be entirely forthcoming with their entire list of ingredients and or notes, because others could duplicate it, and that's how you get into trouble. That's coming at the end of this video. So when they list their ingredients and or notes, they're not entirely forthcoming. Have you smelled Jean-Paul Gaultier Label? He says there's 3 notes in there. There's more than 3 notes in there. There's more than 3 notes in anything. Here's what I'm trying to say. There's going to be lots of bad cuts in here, you guys. I'm just going to say all the things and then I'll put them together later. They're the same because they smell the same. They have the same scent, the same, you can pick out the same smells, but they feel different. Here, the scent is suspended in oil. And when I say suspended, it's mixed. I don't think it's suspended. They come together. Here, the medium is alcohol. Delicious, delicious alcohol. And you know that when you put your fingers in oil, as I am wont to do as often as possible, and I can't even tell you why, it feels different between your fingers, your sense of touch, than alcohol does with your sense of touch. Our noses are incredible. They're not meant to analyze and interpret texture per se, which is what I'm talking about when I talk about how the viscosity feels versus the lack of it in alcohol. But our noses, I think, perceives the differences in texture as sensations. And so regardless of the fact that this has the same ingredients as this, the sensation is entirely different. And I wasn't ready for that. And I am making this video to say that I wasn't ready for it. All of the reviews of Baccarat Rouge 540 talk about its amazing sillage, which is, we talked about this, the amazing projection, the amazing longevity. And I think I was expecting all of that out of this oil, and I didn't get it because it is an oil. And I love this turn of phrase. I've never heard this before. Andrea said, the sillage on an oil or a solid perfume is more personal. I love that. I just said it didn't fill a room, but it's more personal. Somebody really has to be up in your business to be able to perceive this depending on how you wear it. So they're different. And that sensation here in the oil is different because it's suspended in oil rather than alcohol. You could suspend anything in oil and it would feel different than it would feel suspended in alcohol. This viscosity, to me, all of my oil perfumeries elicit a sensation that's not entirely unlike faint nausea, and it has to do with the concentration, I think, of the perfume within each molecule. I think my nose becomes overwhelmed almost upon first sensation because there's so much going on there, and our bodies aren't meant to have our senses overwhelmed. When one sense is overwhelmed, say your sense of smell, all of our other senses get a little bit wacky, and so we're often nauseated. Loud noises, bright lights, smells, very intense tastes. All of our senses are put there to keep us safe, our caveman self safe. And so if you're smelling something very, very intense like this, nausea comes in to have your body expel it, right? And so I'm not saying these scents make me sick. I'm saying that they create a sensation that's not unlike that because they're very heavy, and I wasn't expecting that. So at first I did not enjoy this, and then boy howdy did I ever. And now I almost prefer this one to this one just because this is a little bit sweeter and a little bit less masculine leaning. This has that beautiful sensation I talk about all the time when I talk about patchouli. This has a lightness to it, an airiness to it that this can't have. Again, because of the medium within which it's, I want to say suspended, but presented might be a better word. So if you're looking, basically, this whole thing is about, if you're thinking about a perfume oil, if you're thinking of trying it, I would totally suggest using the perfume oil to get a sense of what the scent itself can be and do. These are orders of magnitude more versatile than the little 0.2 ml samples that you get. And it's more fiscally responsible because of its versatility to purchase the oils, to give your $16 to Oil Perfumery and then your $450 to Francis Kurkdjian. I gave my $50 to Dolce & Gabbana before I gave my $15 to Oil Perfumery, but I'm glad that I did both. Again, this one is the Eau Intense, and this one just says light blue for her. It doesn't say it's the Eau Intense, but the light blue original smells better to me than the Eau Intense. And again, it's got to do with that higher concentration of perfume and a different concentration of the ingredients that cause this to be less airy and oceanic. I don't think I'm using that right. If you know how to use that oceanic word, because to me, that just means that it fills the air in almost a palpable way, as does Clinique Elixir. This has that sensation. So did, I feel like Youth Dew from Estee Lauder has that sensation to it, and the old formulation of Anais from the 80s. Not anymore. So that quality that's here, that was in the original much more than in this, but this has more oil in it, therefore it's less of that wonderful, almost carbonated sensation. It's not necessarily present in the oil as well. Again, that thing that causes that feeling of overfilling the senses at first. So there, yesterday I said that I was going on 50-cent diatribes. Did you know that a diatribe is an attack? That's not what I meant to say. I've been using the word diatribe wrong my whole career, which is like 20 minutes. So really what they are is 50-cent tangents, but so we're just going to knock them down to a cool dime each. So those are all of my dime tangents. And I just want to now take a breath, go this way. I want to talk to you about what I think of what I think of companies that produce inspired versions. I did speak to this a little bit already insofar as it's more worthwhile to me to give Oil Perfumery 16 of my dollars for 10 mils of their perfume oil, which is so very versatile, which helps, say, the longevity if it needed it. This doesn't need it. This doesn't need anything. It helps. It would help carry a scent. You could use it in many ways. I refer you to my other videos. Then it's better for me to give the first $16 or $20 to Oil Perfumery than it is to give the first $16 to 2 mils of something that won't help me formulate an informed opinion. So what do I think of? I don't even like the term dupe because it sounds like they're trying to trick somebody, and I'm not trying to trick somebody. So my sense is that the way you use it ultimately is the spirit in which you give your money. So I give my money in the spirit of wanting to support the company that makes the original, but also not wanting to be frivolous with my hard-earned moolah. I think that I've bought from 2 dupe houses, if you want. That I don't care for that. I've purchased from 2 different companies that create inspired versions of things, and I will continue to give Oil Perfumery my money, and I will discontinue to give the other one my money, simply because it's not. To me, it didn't do me any extra good other than to say, did I like this scent or not? When I buy these, I can use them for all those other things. I think this video has been way too long to tell you that I don't necessarily think that dupes are a great thing, but I also use them to make informed decisions about where I'm going to actually spend my big bucks. I don't think that Mr. Francis Kirkjohn is missing the $16 that I spent on the Oil Perfumery. I don't think Mr. and Mrs. Dolce & Gabbana are missing the $15 that I paid the Oil Perfumery folks, because they're going to get my money eventually, I hope. That's the end of my video. Wow, that was a long one. And that's the end of this series. And now I am going to move into something else. Hopefully these videos are getting better and I will start to take up less of your time but give you more information. Again, I'm not trying to teach you something you don't know. I'm not here to pretend that I know anything. I'm here to find a scent sibling who likes what I like and dislikes what I dislike so that we can spend our money more responsibly. And so if you want to be my scent sibling, come here, come here. Unless you like Carolina Herrera, good girl. And then we have to talk because I need help appreciating that. Yesterday I said that there's stuff I need help, that I really want to appreciate stuff. I've been able to appreciate something in most of the things that I've gotten and use it in different ways. But Carolina Herrera, good girl, I'm working on it. You guys, I'm working on it so hard. Okay, so until I have my tag video done, I'm so excited. I'm Yulia Graham. This is ScentSiblings.ca. I am eternally indebted to all of the folks who have supported me on this baby step journey. We'll see you in the next one.